They just need to play Vici-style League of Legends.
Well, we'll see whether they actually do that. As the other good thing about EasyHoon was the fact that he was able to get out of his lane. It was something that we were criticizing him for earlier on.
That's one of their
in
win
the split.
conditions, honestly.
Yeah.
Dandy ganks mid very well, but EasyHoon needs to be the one that's ganking top lane. And I think that if they're able to replicate that time and time again, then they'll have a very good shot at taking out WE here.
Well, so far, very similar bans as we do have Ezreal Callista and Ryze Alistair for Vici and WE respectively. And we'll see whether anything changes as we do have a side swap, whether it is going to be the Azir, and it is. So Vici, take away that one. EasyHoon hasn't been as confident on the champion because he hasn't been playing it as much.
It's just been
Out
banned
of the
against him
LPL.
so much.
That's true as well. Been outspoken with the fact that his champion pool has changed a fair bit, which is probably pretty handy. As Poppy going to be the final ban here from WE. So the Graves has been left up, and Lung just says, all right, I'll take the Echo. No worries. And Lissandra now left open. See whether that is going to be what WE decide to take away to change things up.
Once again, WE is a little bit more mercurial than any other team.
Yep.
They can play carries in different roles. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do change it up with maybe something like a Lissandra top lane. A little bit more lockdown CC. It's an obnoxious laning phase. Although I said this, that like AP Echo used to kind of beat Lissandra in the mid lane, at least in my opinion, has very comparable wave clear, and then you just can't kill AP Echo because of the ultimate.
Yep.
So Tank Echo in the top lane should theoretically have an equally good matchup. Theoretically.
Or if you just build AP. Like,
No.
if you're going to win that matchup, may as well, right?
Look who you're talking about. You're talking about Lung. I don't think the guy's built AP in his life, Atlas.
He used to. He played Lulu. Not great. I'm talking about unlimited potential here as well, and they didn't do so well.
He also used to go like max cooldown reduction Lulu.
He did. Brilliant stuff. But it is going to be Lissandra and the Graves both picked away from Vici here out of WE. I do like it very much. Very flexible.
But this is a composition they're used to running.
Exactly.
So, I do like the fact that they've gone back towards it. But power picks for Vici.
Yeah, grab their bottom lane. Very, very strong in the Braum and the Lucian. Bard and Sivir being considered at the moment here for WE. I do like it. You want to be able to clear out a minion wave and smack people in the head. I mean, it's a pretty good combo.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, if they have the ability to flex Graves around, in 957, he would have to be able to play Graves top. Kindred becomes a very real possibility with this composition.
He has actually played Graves top once.
So we'll see whether that is something that they look towards. Oh.
Dandy actually looking to step away from the Nidalee this time. As EasyHoon going back to comfort once again, the Lulu being looked at. Very similar looking comp to what WE were running. Utility in the mid lane, lots of wave clear, and then add the Venn diagrams.
Lulu Lucian is a very potent composition.
Yeah.
Lucian kind of benefits from everything that Lulu gives him. Movement speed because he is a low range AD carry, the safety from the shields, as well as Lightslinger synergizing so well with the help pick.
I just have a feeling that it's probably going to be used on Dandy.
See, we talk about that a lot, but I feel like Caveman and Endless have started to step up, so I'm going to give them a little bit more credit.
Okay.
Definitely, you can buff up the Kindred. Is used on Dandy a lot. Frostgurren especially loves talking about this, but I just feel like, Endless, I was very harsh on him. I feel like he is getting better. He's starting to grow on me.
He most certainly is. Caveman was the one that really started growing on me. That guy.
Nah, I'm still not a huge fan.
When he's on Bard, though, that's when it looks good. Not as much of a fan of the sort of generic tanks there towards the bottom side of the map, but when he mixes it up, I do feel good. WE, thinking about the Karma one more time, we'll see whether that one is going to be locked in, as would be putting 957 on that Lissandra in the top lane. They can even pick a jungler here, if they want to.
Not really any S-tier junglers left, so Graves probably resigned to that fate, and it is the Karma one more time.
Oh, well, Nidalee was up. Pretty S-tier.
Yeah, I just don't know if I like Condi's Nidalee.
That's a good point too. His Graves, very, very good.
Yeah, I like his Graves and Elise. Elise was up, and of course is seen as a little bit of a pseudo counter pick to Kindred. But yeah, I prefer the Graves a lot, and I've already talked in depth about how much I like Karma, and that has not changed between games.
Well, we'll see whether the Karma has a better time this time around. Of course, a bit of a lane bully in the Lulu as well up against him. But now a different matchup, and they have the Lissandra on their side.
And support players everywhere are just cursing Easy Hoon and Xie because they know that another round of Karma and Lulu nerfs are coming through because they're being played mid lane. And they're like, you were just removing them even further from support viability right now, you jerks.
Just increase her bases and just take away her AP scaling. I don't know. Do something. Help it out.
That doesn't work with anyone because you know what happens then? People build them tank top laners. You never increase bases
You can
anymore.
never win. You can never win.
If Iceborne Gauntlet has taught us anything, base damage is a horrible way to balance.
Well, we are going to see the Vici Gaming lineup taking something that looks a little bit reminiscent of what WE were trying to win with in game number 1. We'll see whether they can have some more success with it as we move into game number 2. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift for game number 2 between Vici and WE. Vici managing to take game number 1 pretty consistently, honestly. Very powerful performance from the minute 1. We'll see whether WE can bite back. Now on the red side, the victorious side for Vici, the first time. And we shall see, as Keystone Masteries, nothing looking like it's out of the ordinary just yet.
No, not really.
Pretty standard stuff as the face-off in the mid lane does erupt. You can see not looking like we're going to have any lane swaps at the moment. It's still relatively early days. Zero and Mystic are actually moving around. We'll see what is going to change up as Lung and Dandy waiting around in the jungle.
So blind lane swap away from the Bard, Braum Lucian
Yeah.
has been initiated. They are going to make it in time to do Krugs in the top side of the map. Should be a relatively quick jungle for Graves as well as Lissandra. Lissandra also has a much better job of just killing the front 3 minions and disappearing into Fog of War. Of course, Echo doesn't really struggle with Time Winder, but is melee, so you have to watch out for it every now and again.
Yeah, and we'll see how the lane swap does actually benefit WE here as well. You have a feeling that hiding their laning phase is probably a good idea.
Mystic, I know you miss 100% of shots you don't take, but that one was high wide, not very handsome.
Oh dear. That being said, Long going to try and pick himself up the first 3 minions. We'll see how he does. As there they are. Nailed it. Now going to move his way back into the jungle. Help Dandy out as he moves his way around. Not looking too phased about the lane swap at the moment. Vici. They're holding off this minion wave. 957 did exactly the same thing as Condi's now starting off on his wolf camp. We'll see how after the dust settles, these teams do find themselves.
Caveman goes marching in to the forest.
Yeah.
And he's...
Oh my... No, it doesn't do it. Sad boys.
He got smoked.
Yeah, Condi
Smitten.
Smitted it. Smitted hard. As you can see, no early ganks possibly here for GA to worry about as well. So we'll see how the Karma does in the early stages of this lane. Now that he may not necessarily have as much attention.
Definitely a good point. A little bit more isolated now in the mid lane. He's farming up quite nicely, but Easy Hoon, of course, just always has a CS lead every time you look down.
Yeah, he's known as that agriculturalist. At one with the CS, as it were. Well, you can see Condi more than happily able to take away this red buff. Bramble back. No match. Oh, he does actually have a bit of a bramble on his back.
I
Rusty
wasn't
and I
part
were
of that
discussing
conversation.
this.
I knew exactly why it was called a brambleback, because he's literally got branches growing out of his back holding...
Yeah, but were they brambles? I knew it was branches, you know, but didn't quite spot the clear bramble. But there is a clear bramble there. So that was our mistake.
Yeah,
needed to pay more attention. Glad to include you. Well, Spawn.
Not glad to be included at all, to be honest. So let's just move back to the game.
Was well aware of that. WE, though, are going to be able to take down this top outer turret. The answer is going to be there from Vici as Endless is going to back away. Lung going to grab all of it.
Oh,
You're going to let the wave bounce?
one more wave going to be required here. So that's just a little bit of an increased tempo gain here for Vici. They've taken it in.
Oh, Mystic's still on the money.
Nah, yeah, he did.
What a jerk.
All right, cool. So the reason for that is generally you want to go back and get. So it means you should get a pink ward. Wow. English is really failing me today, Atlas.
Yeah, needed a pink ward.
So generally what that means is that they're going to put him into the longer lane, and that means they need pink wards to be able to ward up their side. So as you can see, they're marching straight back down that lane, and he needs to be able to keep himself safe. Whereas 957 now has been caught.
Oh, the stun so close to coming in there. It's endless throughout the piercing light instead of the auto attack.
Magical journey into the bottom lane gets absolutely nothing as well.
It was magical, though.
Was.
That is the point. Vici are going to be able to make their way in towards the top side.
Yeah, they're shoving hard at the moment, Vici. You can see a little bit more extra gold for Lung. As we said, that's what he got. He got to stay an extra wave. That's where the 5 CS is coming from. And we'll see how quickly they want to push back in this bottom lane now for Mystic and Zero. See if they can secure a turret at a similar pace. Graves just needs to join the push. Honestly, if Graves joins the push, they are such a quick pushing team with Bard and Graves.
Does that mean Dandy joins the push as well? I mean, I have a feeling that Kindred going to be okay at it
Kindred's
as well.
much worse than Graves. Graves' 3 pellets sitting in the turret is one of the quickest pushes in the game, as well as the wave clear that comes out of Graves. Kindred has neither of those factors, and therefore is not as good of a turret pusher. Is ranged, but that's all.
Oh, EasyHoon actually pushing GA out. That was a very, very close clear to lands.
Missed by a mile.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You're much nicer than I am.
Oh, Endless and Long actually going to head towards the top side, push this one out. Echo actually teleporting in order to make sure that this one goes down.
Yeah, that was strange, actually, out of Long. He got super greedy on the bottom side of the map. Has to burn a teleport to keep at a similar pace. And it's also because they're doing the Rift Herald at the same time, so they're going for the 2-for-1 advantages right now, but maybe a push through coming out of Team WE.
Yeah, Magical Journey, going to get them into the jungle here as well.
They're so far ahead right now. They will see that Rift Herald has gone down. But they have a good chance to chunk out this turret. See whether Vici actually race them, however, because they've also built up a big turret. And now they're going to have a Rift Herald buff joining.
Yeah, and you can see WE are going to run out of minion wave, possibly a little bit earlier than they'd like. Might need to tank up this turret. They are going to stand in there, but Zero only wants to grab one of them. Look at the wave clear here from WE, though, as the Claw of Doom comes out. So they will be able to finish off this inner turret. We'll see how the Rift Herald is going to help up destroying this one on the top side of the map. All the backs coming out now for WE. As they do need to defend, because their inhibitor turret could fall.
Nah, they're fine. All right, cool. So they get 2 people back. They will be able to stop this push. In fact, they'll be able to catch a very big wave. On the other side, the wave is going to bounce back. In fact, that wave can be frozen on the top side because it is more than 3 caster creeps right now. And there is a cannon creep wave on the way. But it's not going to be because Mystic, greedy man, throws a boomerang at it.
Doesn't want to waste any time. Makes a bit of sense here. He's going to be able to pick up a bunch of farm. You can see Rod of Ages now being started for EasyHoon as he is ahead by about 10. Is 957 possibly going to die? Very, very close.
Calculated.
Yep.
This is a really weird game.
It is. That being said, both of these teams playing out this lane swap very evenly. Not sure whether it's correctly, but it is very close.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's only 200 gold. You'd expect that would be the 10 CS in the mid lane, so on a knife's edge.
It is.
I'm just throwing I'm at the point, right, that I can't speak English. I'm just throwing as many cliche sayings into sentences as possible and hoping I come out the other end somewhat successfully.
Yeah, because you know how that one's supposed to come out, so we've got it.
So
it's fine.
Thank you for bearing with me.
I personally love it. I think it's fun. 12 CS the lead, though, for Mystic, who's
this
farming
is
up
kind
very
of cute.
nicely.
So we already saw last game that a huge teleport play kind of swung the momentum in bottom lane. And if you look at where Vici has placed that pink ward deep in the top side brush, well, there's a little bit of a dive potential coming out on this side of the map.
Yeah, lots of creeps here as well, so a fair bit of damage to come down onto this inner turret. Vici continuing to push.
But a little bit less experience, you would have to think, because they are grouped up as 4, whereas this Sivir is just eating creep waves on the bottom side of the map, and 957 really wasn't denied all that much.
Actually easily able to clear out those minions as well, so pushing that wave back.
And that huge creep wave is just going to shove into the turret. Unfortunately, Lung is going to miss majority of that.
Easyhoon unable to deny the Raptor there as well, which is unfortunate. Now Lung. Time Winder's at least going to be able to clear up a few of these. Nicely done. He has the Dark Seal as well. I love this.
Yeah, it's because you get so tanky as Echo, right, that you kind of get free stacks. It's very hard to die, especially in a lane swap situation. So you get to the team fights, and people already don't want to kill you. So you get the stacking item in there. If you get max stacks, you just turn it into a Magize. If you don't, you just get rid of it. And it also synergizes fantastically with your potion already.
Yeah, and then he builds a Spirit Visage, and then that synergizes with it as well. Synergizes with the ultimate. So much synergy, man. Just ridiculous. But never mind that. He's going to be having a good time, is all I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, got that. The enthusiasm. Very good.
If I've got anything, it's enthusiasm. GA still just getting pushed out by Easyhoon. Chunked over and over, but definitely able to handle it based on mana a lot more effectively. As WE grab themselves the first dragon at 10 minutes. 100 gold is the lead at the moment for Vici, so a very different game to that of Game 1. Settle in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it certainly is. This seems to be a much more WE-style game of League of Legends.
Oh, yeah.
Spooky goes, nail Easyhoon in the mid lane.
Oh, and get Dandy.
Yeah, so that is actually quite good. They know exactly where he is. And now potentially looking to shove this into turret to make sure that it's not froze on them. I want to see the quick rotation into mid lane. See if they can get any pressure there. They've already started it. 3 members strong heading up through the forest now. You just feel that because they are losing teleport advantage so often on Xie, they need to be able to make something happen in this lane. You can see just the added value that Xie gets from hitting the turret. That's 45 gold. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers, Frostfang. Not bad. Has himself a cheeky blasting wand here as well, so wanted to get towards... Oh, okay, Zero. Makes his way through. Phase Dive going to help Lung get a little bit further away from the Brad. This big Raptor not going to be taken down. The ward goes in from WE. And a slightly extended gold lead now for Vici as well. So everything is even on those structures. Neutral objectives pretty close now as well.
Slightly extended gold lead, all of what, 200 still?
Yeah, man. 200. It's crazy.
I think that's what it was before when we checked.
No, it was 100. Very, very low as Easyhoon. Smoke screen to the head. WE demanding control of the river. Harold is available. They have started this one up, so we'll see where they push from here.
Or is this going to be our first fight? Because honestly, they are in position to be able to contest this, although it doesn't look like it is going to be. Coco dropped for Condi.
Yeah. Well, they are actually going to make their way through. Caveman throws out the Winter's Bite.
Oh,
Zero actually flashing out of the way.
It's gone.
Yeah, everyone's still in the pit. Dandy not able to take it down, but it's going to be Lung that grabs it. All too easy. No kills. But WE just couldn't finish the Rift Herald.
That was actually a lazy rotation out of WE. They don't finish the Rift Herald, and their mid laner is just beaten to the punch. That was a 5v4. We're Vici with a 4, but they just collapsed more efficiently.
Yeah. Threw out quite a few summoner spells, and by quite a few, I mean teleport and the exhaust. But they are looking to transition into the mid lane here as well, and Vici, they found another opportunity to extend their lead.
Yeah, they certainly have. They'll be able to knock down mid lane turret, it looks like. Although, wow, that was a huge empowered Karma Q.
Yeah.
We'll keep it alive for now, and they need to run. Karma looking to maybe tank up this wave. So, good response, and we'll see now whether WE can shove down middle lane. Maybe a little bit of an overreach, although Culling's still available.
Yeah, could clear out this wave as long as he's going to make it back towards the top side. Not too bad. Barmy Sinner going to help him with that wave clear. And WE weren't able to get any extra pressure there in the mid lane, so just a soft breeze will take down that mid lane outer turret on the side of WE.
But there is a lot of wave clear on the side of WE. They still have the Karma, who has the empowered Q. They can just do that. They have Bard. They have Sivir. So honestly, there's not really much pressure unless they bring multiple members once again and threaten the dive, because they can just hold it off the turret with the shields. But no team fights yet breaking out on Summoner's Rift. And wow, look at just like that, the 200 gold lead has swung in the other direction.
Yeah. Somehow, as there's a Spooky Ghost. It's all about Mystic as well. He's picking up so much farm. 30 CS in the lead now at 14 minutes into the game. The Sivir has just grabbed every side lane.
But hasn't really cost 957 all that much. As finally they group up in this mid lane, look to see whether they can pressure it. Let's have a look for teleport wards. There's one behind the Dragon Pit. There's one behind mid lane turret as well. So if there is a time to go, it would potentially be now. They've also still got the Sivir and the Graves here. As I said, their wave clear is for days.
Yeah.
So not really much of a threat. And so Dandy looks like he's going to see if he can pressure top wave. Was pinged out. Will not be capitalized on. Instead, 957 heads back up there. They're just going to continue this farm war. And you feel the longer this goes on, Lulu kind of falls off, but Karma
Does too.
similar in how they fall off. If they're ahead of the clock, they do a lot of damage. If not, they still have a great amount of utility. Lucian and Sivir are similar in the way that they can crit multiple times, although Sivir's Ricochet is, without a doubt, one of the best scaling abilities in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of this is going to come down to whether 957 can team fight or whether Lung can split push successfully against the AP user. This is going to be a very interesting game stylistically.
I think so too. It's endless, just looking to try and answer the wave clear that Mystic is bringing in the mid lane.
As far as Bard versus Braum goes, I do like Bard scaling.
Mm-hmm.
Actually does a silly amount of damage. As we can see, that's where Lung wins. One-on-one, give it to him all day. In a team fight, the ability for 957 to lock down a key target can never be underrated, especially with follow-up damage like Karma and Sivir at this stage of the game. Not to mention the execute that comes out of Graves. So, really, quiet time on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, both of these teams feeling each other out at the moment.
I feel like this is what we expected when we saw this series, right?
Yeah.
Game 1, statistical anomaly because Vici had such a successful early game. This is more of what we expected. I do expect that WE will fight for this dragon, however.
Well, they're going to try to. Cosmic Binding goes wide there as Zero gets it dashed out of the way of. And Vici are going to start this one up. There's the concussive blows as Easy Hoon makes his way around. Wild Growth, of course, available as Caveman right in the front line. 957 is here.
Oh, he got
Fate is going to nail both of the carries, but Glacial Fissure trying to help out. Massive damage from 957 as the Wild Growth comes in onto Caveman. And now they're trying to stand on the ultimate. A lot of abilities are going to be used here as Palo Convergence just going to be avoided. 2 kills already for WE. Make it a double kill for Zero as this Bard is going nuts. And no one's dead on WE yet. Easy Hoon survives for a long time, but that's the 4th death.
Zero.
And now the slow comes in. The Meep's doing work as the Time Winder doesn't find the Bard. A disaster for Vici.
Yeah, it certainly is. What a team fight out of WE. We said we expected them to fight for that dragon, and fight they do. They pick up the 4 kills and will now pressure into the mid lane. And Lung is still not safe, although now retreats to tier 2. And they just turn it on. Sure, they lose dragon, but they pick up a 4,000 gold lead.
Massive stuff here for WE, and they understand now they just want to pick some fights. And they will be able to get to the point where they can win them consistently as well. And we'll see whether they can actually optimize the snowball this time in their favor as opposed to last game. And let's have a look at it again. Just ridiculously well played.
So it all starts with a Bard ulti. So when Bard's on your screen, really easy to hit them, pops them up, gets 2. I actually question 957's decision to ult himself here. I think it would have been better served on someone else. But realistically, Zero's chase potential is just massive in this fight. And you can see him meat slapping everyone, able to get a lot. You thought that Lung might be able to turn this, but it isn't overreach because 957's zoning is still just way too big on this Lissandra. And if any team should know that, it should be Vici because they use Easy Hoon in a very similar manner. And you could just see the repetitive shields, the ability to go into stasis, and just generally Bard's strength. Sounds so stupid to call it a support strong, but he just does so much damage.
Well, he got 2 kills in that last fight.
Just means that they're able to win out on it.
Really nicely done. We'll see whether Zero is going to continue to be the catalyst here. 40 CS now the lead for Mystic. So huge as Long. Actually going to get caught out of position. There's the Frozen Tomb. Doesn't even have a chance to use the ultimate. He's dead.
And that's a great collapse onto Long there.
Yeah.
They knew what he wanted to do. Vici kind of recognized. And I said this at the start. 957 can drag Lung to team fights. Big win for the Lissandra. She's going to be much more useful in the team fight. If Lung's able to continually split push, should be able to ultimately win out. This time, they recognize that they've just lost a team fight. All right, cool. Let's send Lung to a side lane. But there's nothing top for WE to go for. So instead they just collapse and are able to pick up another free kill. There's now Zero and Mystic.
Wow, Mystic actually going to get stunned here as it's a massive amount of damage. Tempered Fate comes down again as Endless and Caveman are going to get caught up in it. Caveman right in amongst this fight as Danny's going to keep him alive for even longer, but here's the teleport. 957 making his way down. Caveman's going to fall. Dandy, he has nowhere to go. Double kill for GA now. WE all over this. Triple kill for the Karma.
And we talk about this all the time. Just don't let WE have a free early game where they can get to an even team fight, because they'll make you pay for it. And right now you can see that this is WE's form of League of Legends. Everything all even in the early game, let's just group up and team fight.
Damn right. As Easy Hoon still alive, able to defend. Wild Growth not going to find any knockups though, as Long trying to make his way back through. The chase potential's there. Some low health bars on WE, but they just make their way out.
But the ship's starting to sail outlets. It's already 6,000 in gold, closer to 7.
Can we still say that? I mean, it is still this series.
Yeah, no, definitely, because WE are the team that you expect to be behind.
Ah, of course.
They're the ones that like to peg it back. Vici are more the get ahead, stay ahead kind of team, whereas WE are the team fighting geniuses right now. And as we said, slow, methodical. They've accelerated this game quite a bit. We'll see whether it continues to go that way. 007 right now for Mystic. Now has a license to kill. Love that line. 404 for the mid laner in Xie. He picked up a triple kill in the last little skirmish.
And of course, Long still has CS advantage, as does Easy Hoon, but it's just not seeming to matter right now.
It doesn't when you give over 2-0-3 to the top laner and you're only up by 9.
Yeah, 404 for the mid laner as well.
It doesn't matter how much CS you're at. Well, actually it does. If it was like 300 to 180, sure, but it's not. It's 190 to 170-ish.
Certainly not. And it really feels like it now as well as GA. These are the items that he had at the end of the game last game, and it's now 20 minutes in. This Karma is well and truly accelerated. And it's the fact that you get one kill, and it feels like this team can chase you forever. Because they have the On the Hunt and the Karma. Just silly. The amount of stickiness from these guys is pretty ludicrous. We'll see whether they can close it out. Zonya's Hourglass almost done here for 957. 1,050 gold remaining. There's the Inner Flame. Long trying to do battle with GA. But Spirit Visage will help keep him alive, but that's not what he wants here. He wants to be able to pressure her out.
And right now, it's just because Xie has teleport, whereas 957 doesn't, so they're just matching the Karma with the Echo. Echo actually looking to get the better of it right now. Still struggling a little bit.
Attempting to. GA looking for as many auto attacks to reset that mantra as possible. Does have them up relatively quickly.
Oh, maybe a catch there for Connie, but he dashes out of the way. All of a sudden, 957, some free time in the mid lane turret.
Yeah, Danny is going to move his way over. Just at least defend this one out. Of course, not too much has fallen in the way of turrets just recently. But every time Vici meet WE, the team fight is all about this WE squad. Now it's about breaking open the base, finishing this game strongly, taking the momentum into game 2.
Neutral objectives. This is how WE play the game. You know, pick up Dragon, rotate your vision line up towards the top of the map, grab yourself a Baron, continue to bait Vici into fighting you. You can see that they're pretty much a full item ahead of their competition right now. It's pretty much what game 1 was, but in the reverse.
Yeah.
But not because of strong laning this time. It was because of a great initiated lane swap. You saw that Sivir Bard swapped away from a Braum lane. But in the end, it did come up trumps because they were able to call the bluff of the Rift Herald and push through nice and early and continue to keep the gold lead even and open up this map.
Yeah, and hide their laning phase, which hasn't been their strong suit as well. Very, very impressive play out of this WE squad to adapt to what Vici were throwing at them. Mystic has been the benefactor of this one as well. I mean, he's been able to pick up so much farm. You can see 40 CS, 50 in the lead. Make that 55. As Condi is making his way up here as well. You can see backing, grabbing some extra items. WE just looking to hold on to control.
They have got a little bit of a gank in the bottom lane here.
Yeah, Timewinder is going to find it there as Long. He's very tanky. Easy Hoon comes down. Wild Growth is going to be able to keep him alive. Long picks up the kill, and Vici, what can they make out of the 4v5?
Yeah, that's absolutely a huge kill, although now Endless caught.
Yeah, Frozen Tomb comes in, 957 trying to escape as Winter's Bite does connect. No more Frozen Tomb as Zero is available here. Picks up the kill. What a beast! Tempered Fate is going to buy himself some time, but the Sivir nowhere near him. And the shutdown comes in. Dandy picks up the kill. They will finally be able to grab this outer turret, and Vici some momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, potentially. It's a 1 for 2. They get 2 shutdowns, but they do trade turrets 1 for 1, a tier 2 for a tier 1. So you'd say still relatively close to even. They do lessen the gold lead by about 1,000. But that's more of the shutdowns than the actual kills. Zero's picked himself up a banner of command. So looking to be even more annoying on this Bard.
Yeah, it does, of course, have the Eye of the Watcher already completed. So lots of extra wards. The availability to control the map. Definitely good for a Bard. You want to be able to get the drop on your opponent.
He definitely got that in the last one. Flashing in. Assassinating the AD. Carry Atlas.
That's what you are as a Bard, you know? You're an assassin. I think. Don't play much Bard. As you may tell. Yeah.
I think he's, like, honestly one of the most wonderful champions to play in the game.
Yeah, I feel like you got too many options. I'm more of a Karma guy, you know? You do one specific thing. That's it, you know? I know what to do on that champion. Bard, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. Leave that one to Rusty. Let him play that guy. 957 now back towards the bottom side of the map, facing off against Long. Yeah. Iceborne Gauntlet completed. Still has the CS advantage, but not by much. It's WE resetting the map, continuing the onslaught.
But once again, we'll continue to win the 1v1. There's not really all that much 957 can do against it, in fact.
Yeah, he's running so fast here as long as just keeping that slow up. Uses it. Phase dives there, though. Ults himself as Long throws down the parallel convergence. Tempered Fate's in there, but he ults out. Long actually puts himself back on the spot in 4v1. He's not going to be able to find the kill anymore. Well baited from 957, or good defensive play from WE.
Yeah, it certainly was. One more time, Zero's able to rotate over there. 3-1 and 6 now for the Bard player. Having a terrific game. I feel like this is actually going to become a contested pick as the series goes on.
I hope so.
And now they're looking for potentially another pick in the jungle this time. Bard's natural habitat. Or just inside track into this mid lane.
Able to do so. Endless. Not going to take the dangerous way through. Not going to have the wave clear here just in time, but nice use of lack of minion wave allows Vici to at least keep that inner turret alive. Not sure whether they necessarily used it. Understand the chuckle. 957 up towards the top side of the map.
Did he just get called off that for the Sivir? He did.
Oh,
we already spoke about this, but Mystic is honestly getting 100% of side lane farm right
exactly.
now.
Well, he's 65 CS in the lead. Make that 80.
Yeah. And there's another wave right there to help him out. So double cannon creeps, picks up every single one of them. Rotate to Krog's red buff probably. Go back, grab an IE, and then well and truly is combat ready at this stage of the game.
Yeah, well, he was already looking pretty combat ready, but I have a feeling that, you know, a couple of crits and it's going to be all she wrote for Vici. They're going to have to pay him a lot of respect. And
pretty much no armor has been picked up. I mean, Iceborne Gauntlet is the extent of it right now.
Yeah.
So he's going to mow through everyone. And as you can see, that is the IE picked up.
Just insane. Has himself the Alacrity enchantment on his boots as well. So with On the Hunt, with Swifties and Alacrity, this is going to be a very, very fast Sivir.
Armor shield.
Oh my god, yeah. That's just silly. Going to be running pretty quick. Not to mention the relative speed that he's going to be running, because there's like so many slows on the side of WE. Vici just going to feel like it's a Sivir on steroids. You almost already do. I'm frightened.
I can tell.
Yeah.
A little bit more sideway farming here. There's 957 one more time, has been caught out.
Where's the rest of your team, 957? As Long is bearing down on him. There's the Claw of Doom. Is able to make his way out. As Long's going to flash. The Q misses. And 957 wants to try and find his way out. Vici holding on as the... Yeah, Zonya's not exactly going to help him. Long grabs the 1v1. Nicely played out of the Echo.
This is actually confusing out of WE. They just have such strong teamfight initiation. They can group up whenever they want and look to take it to them. Long, however, will continue to win the 1v1. This is why Echo is so prized, because as the game goes on, has percentage health damage built into his kit in a form of an Execute, as well as Grasp of the Undying. It's just so hard to outrun that guy once he has Iceborne Gauntlet, and it's too tanky to chunk out. 957 really should just be grouping or using the teleport to make great flanking plays and fighting over neutrals here. Instead, decides not to do that, and that's the second time they've been made pay.
You can see, there's the Mantra W out of GA. Thought it was Mystic's ultimate. Wasn't, of course. Just the other one.
Isn't it Mantra E? I'm pretty sure E is the shield, W is the chain.
That's the one I want him to mantra. Feels good, man.
But Dragon number 3 started up now for WE.
Vici not actually wanting to contest this one as Lissandra back alive, teleport available.
Well, in a team fight, they should get absolutely decimated. It's still 3-10.
Yeah.
Kills and a 4,000 gold lead with an absolutely monstrous Sivir on Summoner's Rift.
And a banner of command here as well, bearing down the mid lane. So you can see Vici more than happy just to slow this one down, find themselves a team fight in the late game where the Lulu can augment the rest of this team in order to find themselves a victory. And I have a feeling it's all going to be about team fight orchestration for this Vici squad. They need to have things working right for them.
Well, if that's the case, you feel even more worried for them because unless they kill Sivir instantly and they have no burst damage,
yeah,
then the team fight is going to be ridiculously hard to accomplish. So maybe about chaining some CC up, as now it is Xie that is matching across from the Echo. They've given up on trying to send Lissandra into that lane.
Understandably too.
Yeah, killed twice. Not really the result they were looking for, I feel.
All right, well, Dandy does have his Hysterics gauge done. Now looking to grab himself the rapid fire cannon straight afterwards. Vici now continuing to pressure forward. Easy Hoon getting into the flow of buffing up this Lucian as best he can.
Just start the Baron.
Yeah, just do some stuff, WE. You know that you can win any team fight. I feel like we've asked them that before.
Ult him.
Possibly. Yeah. Well, there's going to be the Cosmic Binding flying through. Does at least stop the Whimsy speed. As there's the Mantra Q. Something happens here in the mid lane, and Endless says, all right, well, I'm just going to go away forever. He's 0-3-0, though. Lucian not exactly powerful right now. Rapid Fire Cannon, Essence Reaver, and the Hex Drink have been done. And he's behind by about 1 billion CS.
Not that much.
That's an approximate measurement of the amount of CS relatively he is behind.
75.
Yeah. Approximately 1 billion. Vici moving away. Frost Queen's claim was thrown out. 600 crits on a ricochet.
They really are a patient team here, WE. Frustratingly so.
Yeah. To a fault.
100%. They've sent 957 back into a lane. They've actually started up Baron. Get the, yeah, there we go. Shields up.
Well, you can see it's already down to below half health. Vici haven't poked their heads in just yet. 3,000. There's the teleport. Vici want to try and do something about this, but it's so incredibly low. Graves takes it down. Condi able to lock down the Baron, but that's 3 in the pit. Dandy throws down his ultimate.
Mystic's
does have
in
the
trouble.
shields. He's trying to dance out of the way. Doesn't get the heal as Endless takes down Mystic. This could be a massive deal as Zero makes his way out of the fight. Endless right in the back line, but he's still alive. Wild Growth keeps him in it. Lung takes down the Lissandra, but Condi's going off. Caveman in the back of this one, and look at this Graves.
Penta.
Quadra kill. Can you get over the wall? As he doesn't quite have it. There's the magical journey as Long. He's so low, and Condi wants it. One more auto attack will get him the Penta, but Lung's just been so
I don't
annoying.
think he can execute here. Can he actually escape? Certainly looks like he might be able to.
Phase dives there.
Oh.
Condi gets another auto attack. Red buff goes down. He
There it
gets
is.
the Penta kill. There it is for Condi. WE able to finish it off.
Yeah, so in the end, it took a while.
It did.
But
I feel like
as
we lost our
everything
energy.
as everything with WE, you just have to be a little bit patient, Atlas. And they will come through with the goods in the end. 32 minutes in the game. They do get the Baron buff, and they get a pentakill. That penta took that long to achieve that people are respawning, however, so they can't break the base. As we take another look at it. So, commitment here to the Baron, because they ult up Dandy with Zero's ulti, so he's not able to get in there. And then Dandy has to burn his ulti on just himself. And this is where Zero really starts taking over. You can see the Bard doing battle in the pit, just putting out so much work. But really, we talked about this before, but EasyHoon's just able to augment Endless so well. And it wasn't until the poke damage started coming back over the wall and Condi was able to get into close quarters that this game swung back around. It really was a long chase.
Benny Hill, necessary.
And there it was, pentakill. So very nicely done out of Condi. WE fans go crazy. And now they have the first, they had a significant lead. This is the first huge lead of the game.
Yeah, 8,000 gold now at 34 minutes into this game. WE able to clear out all of the outer ring of turrets as well. Yet to break the base, but now with the Baron buff, we'll see what they can do as far as that is concerned. Oh my god.
That is a ban it up creep as well.
the dream.
Good luck killing that with Illusion. You have to culling it.
Baron of Command is one of the most obnoxious things in the game, in my opinion. An extra 10 damage on those crits here for Mystic as well, as he does almost have his Bloodthirster done. Longsword and, of course, the recipe to go. And this is going to be a very big Sivir. Caveman blocks out the Mantra Q, but you can see, look at all of the wave clear at work and the movement speed. The fact that WE clear out minion waves and get out of trouble very, very quickly. Banner of Command minion taking a long time to kill. And the turret's now just getting chipped away. Mystic, as soon as he gets up and close and personal with these turrets, they do fall down. He is going to go as Dandy does have to use the ultimate here in the mid lane. It's just Mystic going nuts as well. Not a lot of damage from everyone else as Dandy is caught up in the Twisted Fate. Condi grabs it. And this could be the beginning of the end for Vici as Endless is going to fall down instantly. Caveman is torn apart. Lung running the wrong direction. Inhibitor's going to go down, and WE looking to try and finish off game number 2 in basically the same fashion that Vici took number 1. We've got a series on our hands, Spawn.
Yeah, we certainly do. 2 games, 2 red side victories. Game 1, Vici control the pace. Great standard lanes. Game 2, WE go into a lane swap. Get the jump on the Vici Gaming lineup and are able to control their way to a victory.
They most certainly did. I mean, there was sort of that mid-game lull, so I'd say probably not as decisive as the Vici victory. But still, WE, they managed to get this lane swap, hide that laning phase. Looks like the victories are going to come through thick and fast.
If they're even, they're ahead. It's the easiest way to talk about it, right? Even at a small disadvantage gold-wise, you feel like they are comfortable in team fights. And that's kind of the way we've always viewed WE this year. They're a very scrappy, team fight-oriented team that do want to get to that 20, 25-minute phase of the game before they really accelerate anything. And they just did a fantastic job of it this time around of making sure that when they did get there, they were able to take over.
Yeah, and I actually think it's really beautiful looking at this series as well based on the fact that the bans didn't change between game 1 and 2. And I think the side difference is seriously what matters right now because the Lysandra is a massive pick for both of these teams. Not to mention the Graves looking fantastic for Condi at the same time.
But it hasn't been first picked. So
No.
Kindred was first picked, and Echo was first picked game 2. So you say, you know, side difference is huge because of the Lysandra first pick. If that was the case, they would just first pick the Lysandra.
I feel like next game they probably will.
I actually think it was the lane swap that did a heck of a lot for them this time around. But, as we can see, some early team fighting here means that Xie picks up a triple.
Seems like the multi-kill game for WE here. Of course, we did get Condi's pentakill in there as the Karma working out in game number 2. They committed to it, found the win.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I feel like the Bard also came up absolutely massive. Honestly, everyone from WE had a good game, which just proves the theory of them being a very good team fight team when it's able to get to that point. Mystic got blown up in this fight, and that was a lot of their gold. However, still able to put in a lot of work with Xie as well as Condi. Condi maybe chasing a little bit too far, but does come back to clean everything else up.
Yeah, he's like, sorry guys, it's all right, I'm back. And kills everyone.
Yeah, I had to go get my first kill on what is going to be a Penta in 25 seconds. Trust me. No, trust me. Atlas, trust me.
Keep trusting me. Thankfully, the Bard slows him down there as well with the meep shot.
Slap.
That could have been the kill as well. Imagine if he was even more fed on the side of Zero.
Yeah,
That would have been awful.
Certainly was the case. And, you know, this is just something that WE, they're not going to win any game quickly. You feel that they need to control it. They need to set themselves up for the long-term success. They need to control neutral objectives. And they just did all those things beautifully well in this game due to a perfectly orchestrated lane swap. So I think that if they get lane swaps or they get advantageous lanes and they're able to bully a little bit, that this is the way they win. However, we've already seen Vici's jungler, Dandy. He had a quiet game too. Do not expect him to be quiet for the rest of the series.
Yeah, we'll see whether Dandy is going to be able to have a better game in game number 3. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to a short break. When we come back, see who's going to be able to take game 3 because honestly,